right.
All right. Welcome back, welcome in. You found us once again. Shoot the Gap, the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Focus Show, here to help you to be gruntled with your fantasy football team and your fantasy football decisions. I am your humble host, Brian the Amigo Baldwin, and it is my honor to introduce to everyone listening, Connor. Let's go, Connor. Yeah, Connor the gut.
Y'all?
Marshall, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good.
Did I point the right direction? No.
No, but that's the people.
Are you over there?
No, but you did say for the people listening, so that was good foresight on your part.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
And of course, to my somewhere is Brock.
To your left.
Yeah, the commish Shageen. How you doing, my brother?
I'm a snake. I'm a slithery snake. I'm good. How about you?
I'm a little bit less than I was right before I asked you how you're doing. That's how I'm doing right now, dude. Okay, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, just trying to warm you guys up, man.
You don't want to go in dry.
Yeah. All right, this is our if you're still listening, this is our 115th show, August 23rd, in this hopeful year of our Lord, and we have a great show for you today. Today we'll be going over some news, and we'll reveal our thoughts about some sleepers you'd find at the end of your draft with a game called Dream or Nightmare. So let's get started with some news, guys.
No, Ganoos is good Ganoos. You ain't got any rules if you ain't got any Ganoos. Ha!
All right. So let's go and start with some good news. All right. Let's just get some good positive feelings up there. Let's go and talk about it. So this is out of San Francisco. Head coach Kyle Shanahan told reporters today that Elijah Mitchell, who has been out with a hamstring issue, will be ready week 1 versus Chicago. We were talking about before the show, Brock, and you were coming up with some interesting names, man. What's your thoughts about that news?
Well, I guess what makes the most sense out of this news is if he's ready for week 1, Elijah Mitchell, that is, then that's great. But either way, he's been sort of not very durable. He's been somewhat accident prone. He's a little soft around the edges, unfortunately for him. I'm starting to look at Tyrion Davis Price. This guy's, I think he's a 3rd round selection. If I'm not mistaken, 3rd round selection. Because of this very reason, the uncertainty around Mitchell. So, this is a sleeper for me, but I don't know that it's going to be a sleeper for long. So, he is a 6'1" bruiser. He's got a 4.48, not super fast, but not slow at all for a 6'1" running back. He's got great vision. I was looking at his highlights at LSU, and I mean, he's got some. He looks like early days Zeke, at least season 1 Saquon Barkley. That he would have gone higher, right? But whatever the case, at least in college, he has got some great. He can turn the speed on a field, and then, as I stated, he's going to be the goal line back. Just how his sheer size and his youth. So I think he's probably a sleeper in week 1, but I think he's going to pay dividends because I don't think Elijah Mitchell is going to be, the long-term guy. And I mean, that Shanahan offense, running backs, there's no loyalty there. It's just they're all redheaded stepchildren.
All right. Since you brought it up, man, one word. Did you watch the?
Stepchildren? That's more than
No. Did you watch the show, the new Game of Thrones?
I haven't. No, I haven't. It's recorded. It's on my DVR. So
okay. Well, watch it. Connor, you got the same thoughts on that, man? Anything you want to add to Elijah Mitchell?
Nah, man, everything that Brock just said perfectly encapsulates how everyone at one point in time will feel about one of the running backs in Kyle Shanahan's scheme, and that is the point. We've all had that guy in the past that for some reason, we've thought they're going to be the guy. Brian remembers, for me, it was Matt Breida. And the Wolverine. I had a nickname for him and everything.
Yeah.
And the thing, man, is it never works. You're chasing the dragon. You're chasing some shit that doesn't exist because blah 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 pace. Like projected potential. Like it's not It's not fucking real.
News that broke today, the Baltimore Ravens have officially signed ex-Chief wide receiver Demarcus Robinson. Last year, he had 25 catches for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns, averaging about 10.6 yards per catch. Any cause for any concern if you're targeting Mark Andrews? Connor, this question is like perfectly served to you. You're the Mark Andrew lover of this whole of all three of us.
No, I laugh at this.
Okay. What do you think of the signing at all?
Look, I mean,
Rashad Bateman. How about Rashad Bateman? How does that affect Rashad Bateman?
Well, okay, I'm stuck because I don't want to talk about the other Ravens news that happened today before you talk about it, but I feel like it was kind of because of that they needed to do this. Can I segue into that?
No, yeah, go ahead, break it.
Yeah, the other running back, Gus Edwards, he's out the first 4 weeks. They already determined. So the Ravens are already behind the ball like they were last year with injuries. The story was they had injury-prone running back room. They lost both of their starting running backs, and then they tried this weird 3-man rotation of old vets that didn't work. And they're they're thinking we're going to beef up our O-line and we're not going to deal with this shit. And then Gus Edwards is already injured. They just got J.K. Dobbins back, and he's hardly the Dobbinator. It seems Brian's Dobby curse really did take place. And more about guys with curses later. We got a good episode for you. But the point is, it's a depth move. He's not a one. I mean, they're gonna make a ragtag bunch. The Ravens at their best, when they won Super Bowls, they didn't have good wide receivers. They had a ragtag bunch of guys. Like they had Jacoby Jones and maybe one other, a really Bolden in the twilight of his career. I don't think, that's what they had. They didn't have a lot. They don't need a lot to win. Mark Andrews is still going to be the one. He still has that connection with Lamar Jackson. He's still his safety valve, his comfort food, his buddy. That's his guy. I'm not worried about the Robinson signing.
Okay. All right. Brock, I'll throw this question. Anything you want to add to that? Let's start.
Demarcus Robinson, he didn't thrive under Mahomes for a reason. He's not going to do much better under Lamar Jackson.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now the Saints. Let's move to the Saints. Little New Orleans. Head coach Dennis Allen revealed on Saturday that wide receiver Michael Thomas is dealing with a quote unquote little bit of a hamstring issue. He hasn't practiced since Friday, and most of the time when older receivers pick up hamstring injuries this late in camp, not a good thing. What's your thoughts on it, Brock?
I think Olave's ADP just continues to rise based on this. I mean, it's going to be the same thing. You're probably going to get other players there like Jarvis Landry that can eat in place. Michael Thomas is the same situation. As many, I guess, in his bracket, and that is just not very durable. Unfortunately, when they're healthy, they're great, but are we going to see that greatness emerge sometime this season, maybe for a game or two? But that's where I'm at with Michael Thomas. So I mean, I'm not really looking his way. I'm not going to touch him. Do the other receivers or tight ends eat? Yes, of course they do. But for Thomas, this is just terrible news. I mean, just go further proves just to stay away from that sort of area, which is one of the teams that I don't really like to pay too much attention to because it's just not enough consistent data for you to be able to base any decisions on. So
yeah, that's pretty strong. Las Vegas Raiders running back Kenyon Drake. Let's talk about him. He said in a phone interview with the Associated Press that General Manager Dave Ziegler called him personally to let him know that they are moving on from. He's 28, but only 2 years removed from a 955-yard and 10-touchdown season with the Cardinals. Where do you guys think that he should land? Connor, let's talk about that real quick. Where do you think he's going to land, and where do you think he should land?
I just love statements like 2 years removed from so-and-so. Like, that's such a positive way of saying he's fucking washed.
Hey!
He is. No, I love that about
Don't flip over the burger. Don't flip over the burger. It's cooked. Really, it's good.
He's garbage.
Right.
He's garbage.
Yeah. Nah, man. I mean, look, I got to shout out to Ethan the Doc Marshall, he hit me up a couple days ago, and the first thing he said whenever this news broke was, "Man, what about Josh Jacobs?" And that's my instant takeaway from this news is it's like Josh Jacobs, his ADP isn't improving like a whole lot. Like he's still pretty cheap. And it's like, I think he's worth it in the 5th round.
He's
like,
going
if he
later.
Stays there. Yeah, especially if he goes later, like 5th, 6th, maybe the 7th round.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, I'll take a shot on him.
Oh yeah, I've seen him go that late.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
my takeaway. I don't think I think Drake is washed. I think he was injury prone his whole career, and he proved that he can't be a main workhorse guy, and he at best is going to end up on the Ravens.
Yeah, the only other news that I got really is the Carolina, they finally made a decision. It's going to be Baker Mayfield, so they finally stated what all of us already knew whenever they traded for Mayfield, but whatever. You do what you got to do. Politics is tough. And then also Tom Brady. Tom Brady has returned to the Bucks, so that's good news. That if you heard something, was it on Monday, like that whoosh of air, that was a collective sigh of relief from everybody, because all the fans, because he finally
at his age, obviously you got to make more time for the mani pedis and the facials and whatnot, the martini lunches. He's got to get into rest before he goes full throttle, because that's what's going on. But I mean, I think he just lost another O lineman for the year. So I mean that is a decimated front offensive line. So I mean, the best to him, but I think he knows what he might be up against this season.
The backup is fine. The All Pro that came out of retirement back to play because Brady came back. That guy, yeah, he's the one who's out. Dude, check it out. The latest Reddit theory on the reason why he was gone. Seriously, this is like the most popular, is that he was on The Masked Singer. Yes.
That's so stupid. That's not why, man. I bet it's because he's going through a divorce.
I hope not.
Like that's the news that I've seen. Like I think there's a higher chance of that than doing The Masked Singer.
No. I mean, we know that there's potential trouble in paradise. Yeah. At least based on some of the comments last year, based on what his wife was saying and whatnot.
Because she didn't want him to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, the kids are begging him not to return. They want to spend time with their dad. So it's just Can you imagine the most eligible best football player ever? Can you imagine what that dude's gonna pull? Just throwing that out there.
He's gonna be fine.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So, do we have the commercial, Connor? Yes or no?
Yeah. I have it queued up.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Okay.
From our sponsors.
There we go.
High Volume Music Radio, the pride of Sunnyside, with shows like Rock and Roll Radio, Bring Back the A-Track, The Brown Sugar Express, and Blame It on the Boogie with Aunt Boogie. Log in now at highvolumeradio.com, and remember, if it ain't high volume, it ain't loud enough.
Now back to Shoot the Gap with your host, Brian, the Amigo Baldwin.
Yeah. All right. Now it's time for America's new favorite game. Yes, that's Dream or Nightmare. Yes, so this is when each of us, we have picked out 3 different sleepers, and we'll discuss them to decide if they're going to be Dream or Nightmare. All right, who wants to get started? Brock, you feeling it, man? You want to start us off?
Yeah, why not, dude? Let's start with Kevontae Turpin. He was an undrafted TCU standout. 2019, he went into the draft, but didn't get drafted. He played in the USFL, and he's got legal issues, which is why he's a Dallas Cowboy. He is the perfect pedigree for Jerry Jones. But I'm going to say he's going to be a dreamer sleeper because, he in one game. Now, mind you, preseason, it was exciting to watch a preseason game for once. And he returned not only a 98-yard touchdown, but he also in the same game, literally a few plays later, returned an 89-yard punt for touchdowns. What does that look like when your commissioner has the defensive scoring 1 point for every 10 yards returned, and touchdown? I mean, when you see shit like that, that's just excitement in PPR. Not let alone like there may be other roles for him in the Cowboys. So he's definitely earned a spot, and I think he's going to make the most of it as long as he can stay out of trouble, as is the life with every Dallas Cowboy.
So you're saying dreams. You're saying dream on that information.
Dreamer sleeper. Yes.
Okay. I would say that's a nightmare. Okay. Because that's a dreamer, not for the guy, but that's for the defense, right? Is that what you said?
If you have the Cowboys defense, which is not bad at all, they're
great.
The sixth best defense right now. You're going to have this guy potentially running these fucking punts and kickoff return back, and may also line up as wide receiver at one point.
Yeah.
Slot receiver.
Yeah. As a defense, I agree with you, but as the actual player, he's a wide receiver. I would not pick him specifically. But that definitely helps out.
This is going in. This is me telling you that I am picking the Cowboys defense as early as I can. So.
Okay. All right. First pick of the draft. Yeah.
Round 5.
Connor, go with your first one, Connor. Go with your first one.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with my best one. I think that David Njoku is a tight end that is relative now. You don't have to draft him off the board to get him, which is great. And whenever Deshaun Watson comes back, like Brian talked about, he wouldn't be in pads for a while, so he's gonna be having to dump it off to his safety valve. Historically speaking, Watson loves throwing to tight ends, and he's never had a tight end quite as good as David Njoku. So I really think Njoku has a great opportunity here. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on him. You can pick him up, probably after the first couple weeks or something, maybe after the dust settles, and then I think he'd be a great addition to your fantasy team.
Yeah. What is it? Brissett. Well, Brissett, dude, he ranks top 3 in target share to tight ends since 2017. So I can see exactly what you're talking about in there, man. Yeah, and he is and Mari Cooper, he's of course new arrival wide receivers. You already know that stat. But Mari Cooper specifically has never commanded a target share better than 22% during his career. Who's the second receiver for Cleveland? Njoku. Yeah, I think he's a dream, man. Yeah, I go with you on that, dude. Any thoughts on that, Barack?
I mean, when I think of tight ends, David Njoku's definitely kind of down the list. He had his best year, one of his best years last year. I think 2018 was his best year under new quarterback. But now it's just like he's garnering about 400 yards, 500 yards average. Actually, he got 475 last year, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, but also he used to be there. Sorry to interrupt you, but Austin Hooper was on that team. Remember, Hooper's gone now, so it's a different situation.
Hooper was even worse. Hooper was even worse. Now, I mean, I'm not saying he's a nightmare, but could he be a sleeper this year based on what's going on with both those quarterbacks? I mean, in the first 11 weeks, you got to contend with Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby's going to run more than anything. He's just going to run. Okay.
No,
so I think
Brissett wasn't a running quarterback historically. He was very unathletic. He would throw a lot. When he would run, it's because no one was open.
He was running for his life, is what was happening.
It was more of a jog. It was more of a jog, really.
Okay, I'll throw mine out there. My first one, nice and easy. We'll get it started kind of with a soft little pat there. Buffalo Bills wide receiver, man. Slot. He looks like he's going to earn the lead slot role. Isaiah McKenzie. Yeah, man. Jamison Crowder, Mr. Slot Man himself, he is being beaten by this, right? So he's taking over. Okay, he would be taking over the Cole Beasley role, who averaged 82 catches while missing multiple games over the last 2 seasons. Yeah, McKenzie, dude, was a top 10 route runner last season and has averaged a mere 27 fantasy points during
Speaking
games.
of things that are mere, he's taller than the other guy, so I think will be better.
Well, the thing is that but he's gonna look huge in the end zone, so. And you know exactly how Cole Beasley did on this team that's a pass-first team.
And it sucks because Josh Allen's so tall. Like, you could tell that Allen was trying to throw it low, but Beasley was just... There was such a discrepancy.
Yeah, and Josh Allen, he leads the highest target share to slot receivers among all quarterbacks over the last 5 seasons.
Really?
All right, so yes. So this guy, you're hearing like little small things, but this guy is set to do really, really well, and I think he's to be a dream sleeper. Anybody have anything to add or debate?
I think he's in a good spot to really try to steal shares from Crowder. But I mean, Isaiah McKenzie hasn't historically been that good a guy anyway. I mean, he's been with the Bills this whole time, so I see this news, but I don't know that it's really going to make much difference this year. That maybe he's just going through a divorce and he's just incentivized somehow to try to make an ADP run for contract. I don't know, but I do know that he's been with the Bills, and when you have a top tier quarterback who's throwing to you time and again, I mean, you should. It's not going to be for long if he does. I think Crowder, is sort of the new kid on the block. So he's going to have to basically just come in and earn his spot, and that's all this story is about. I mean, I don't see him being a dream, unfortunately. I see him being more the nightmare, unfortunately. Because he doesn't even register in flex territory with me. So it's just, and then he's older, he's younger. That's the only thing that I believe he has on Crowder. But I mean, beyond that, I don't know. Brian, wake up! Brian, wake up!
No, I can't. I'm just astonished by what I just told you. I just laid out the facts to you. He's got arguably the best quarterback. Okay, who loves to throw to the slot. He is exploding.
Who has been throwing to him for I don't know how many years. Since 2018.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, look, bro. I'm going to be honest. Remember whenever we used to talk and you would always tell me the reason why the whatever wide receiver for the Chiefs it was that week?
Yeah.
They were the guy, and you knew why. You had a 5-page essay with fucking thesis and a body and a conclusion to bring it home.
Yeah.
And then I would say some shit like, fucking A, Brian, and then turns out, fucking A. And the thing that there's a guy we haven't mentioned yet, and that's Gabe Davis. And he's not just going to disappear.
Dude,
there's Gabe Davis.
Cole Beasley did just as well with Gabe Davis around. So I'm not even concerned about this. We're talking about sleepers here, man. We're talking about people at the end of the draft. You guys seem to think that I'm telling you about these people. These are people that are going to have incredible value, and this is the reasons why. Okay,
it's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, I know that Gabe Davis is going to eat. Yes, I know Stephon Diggs is going to eat. I'm not trying to say he's going to be the number one wide receiver.
All right.
I'm just explaining to you that you have this incredible quarterback, probably arguably the best quarterback in the league, who loves to throw to the slot, and this guy is now. I understand that he's been with the league for however X amount of years, but sometimes it takes a while for it to blossom. All right,
he's been with the Bill since 2018.
He has.
Yeah.
Well, yes, he has. He has absolutely. And every time he's gotten used a little bit more and more and more until last year, and that was because of Cole Beasley. But he was going from first he had 18 receptions, then 27, 30. I'm telling you, he was barely used. 179 yards, 250 yards to 882 yards. Right?
I would just.
But that was
And
with
those-
Cole Beasley there.
No,
Okay,
you're right. You're right. I
I'm
would.
telling you, his time is now, dude. That's what I'm trying to tell you
His
guys.
time is now. This is the
So,
the
he's
McKenzie
sneaking into
season.
your flex. He's sneaking into your flex, and if you stream him the right way, you could.
Yeah, but
could
Brian's
hit
saying
bigger.
this is like a last guy you can draft type.
Yeah,
thing,
this is down the bottom, man. This is like getting some value here,
All
but
right.
it looked could reach into the top 25 wide receiver. He could.
He's a streamer. I think he's a streamer.
It's a
Your
streamer.
next one, Brock. Your next one.
Yeah, you two. Your second.
Second dream, because I've got a nightmare for you guys.
Give us the nightmare so we can end
Okay.
on a good note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Anybody that has a Seahawk on their helmet, that's a nightmare. Don't go into the light, Caroline. Just stay out of that room.
Not even
if
Ken
I-
Walker, like for
Yeah.
later. Stash him.
Like-
Bro, he already injured.
Put him on your IR, man. Just stash him.
Bro, he got a fucking hernia.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
dude.
when you're that young, and you get, there's maybe a physicality issue or question that we're probably trying to figure out with Walker at
Yeah.
this point. So it's not a good showing and getting hurt as a rookie.
You know how some
training-
old men are addicted to hookers? Well, Pete Carroll's addicted to injury-prone running backs. He doesn't know how to quit them, and his ass is on the line. And look at him; he's still fucking it up, drafting running backs in the second round just for them to get injured.
And with this Walker news, he just got busted in the back seat with a male one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing, guys, is Kenyon Drake to Seattle. Then that's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Either there or the Ravens, bro. I bet money he's on one of those two
Wherever
teams.
he
Yeah.
goes, he's also a nightmare.
There's a point whenever DK Metcalf becomes a value, though. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't stay away
if
from him
he's double
completely.
digits.
Well, still, right, but there's a point, okay? You can't just say, like, stay away completely. But, I mean, if he falls down, like, let's say 9th round, 10th round, okay? And, I mean, right at that point, you're basically building depth anyway. Why wouldn't you have DK Metcalf on the off chance that, something works out or, that they decide to use him in a different way?
It
Much
depends
like,
on what's
you know-
there, because there's other things that could be better and have more stability that I could build around, like Adam
Okay.
Thielen or Devontae Smith or other guys like
That's a-
that.
Okay, so Devontae Smith or DK Metcalf, you're going Devontae,
Yeah, I'm going Devontae.
right? Okay.
Yes.
How about Robert Woods?
No, but I'm never fucking looking Robert Woods way, so that isn't really
No,
fair.
so you would go DK Metcalf then, right?
Okay, yeah, but those are like different leagues. It's like we were looking at the bar and we were looking at an 8 and a 7, and then you pointed out a 4. It's not
Yeah.
really.
Dude, but no, he might slip down there, dude. Yeah, but listen,
no, I'm not fucking going
How
home
about-
with a 4. I'm going home and beating off first.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
just like I'm not drafting Robert
I
Woods.
would.
I'm not drafting him, and I'm waiting
I
for the
would.
waiver. I know you would.
Okay.
That's the difference. I'm not
Okay.
looking the Titans' ways because, like what you said, it's the Derrick Henry show.
Yeah, that Penny thing though is really, really tempting. With the fact of Ken Walker being hurt, and that he's going to be the lead back on a run first offense with terrible quarterbacks, so they're going to be running. So
Yeah, that's your
It's tempting.
defenses are gonna have a
It's
very hard
tempting.
time scheming for that.
hey, he can take
What are
his
we
body
gonna
can take
do?
all those shots. His body can take all those shots. Yeah, okay. Connor, what's your next one? Good one, Brock. Good one.
That was a good one. I'll do a nightmare as well, so we can end on a positive note. And I'm gonna go with Melvin Gordon, because I think that a lot of people, they're kind of doing you get the cheaper option because that's the better value, and they're thinking about it like really theoretically. And you're getting kind of cute and you're faking the fake. That's not how fantasy football works. You got to remember, Javonte is awesome, and he's going to be awesome for fantasy because he's super talented. And Melvin Gordon is injury prone, and he's playing what could be the last season of his NFL career, or at least like someone who's like competing for a starting job. Like he's getting old.
I think he knows. I think, what is this, his 7th or 8th season?
He's like 28.
Yeah,
That's
so
ancient
this is
for a running back.
8th season, and I mean he's had better, like maybe two better years since before this. But going back to the Chargers as well. But last year he split pretty much right down the middle with Javonte Williams. And Javonte Williams is the younger guy, and they both got just about the same production, just right down the middle. Though Melvin Gordon had more touchdowns. Javonte Williams is still the younger guy. He's going to be the go-to, and he's settling in. So, but I think he's certainly still worth one of those. I mean, in worst case scenarios, he's your running back too. I mean, I don't see how horrible.
Here's something to prove my argument. So Melvin Gordon, you can get him in the 8th round.
Yeah.
All right. You're telling me you're going to choose him over Tony Pollard?
No, I'm not.
See, and that's what I'm trying to say is, people think they're trying to get cute because they're thinking, oh, I'm going to draft the cheaper guy. You're drafting the cheaper guy, which is injury-prone running back on a pass-first offense. So you're drafting the injury-prone running back 1B on a pass-first offense. So that's like 2 strikes against it as a good situation. You could draft Tony Pollard. I mean, there's other guys you could draft. We talked about Josh Jacobs earlier. There's other guys that you could kind of look the way of that I think they have more stability, because those mid rounds, you still want some, like, so why did I draft this, right? So you want to be able to look back and be like, okay, well, I drafted, this in this round and it gave me some stability. And, Melvin Gordon.
Talking handcuff right now.
Yeah.
And if you're wanting to handcuff, I would probably say that there's more value in somebody that is ADP is lower than Melvin Gordon, like Hines.
Herbert. Khalil Herbert.
James Robinson.
Yeah, but I get it. Then there is certainly those, but where this guy where Melvin Gordon is falling, I think
because it's the 8th, he's still kind of expensive.
Yeah, he's the 120th overall top 300, and so I'm looking at that. And when I look down and you need a running back at this point, the only things available around that are Michael Carter, and that's going to be good night nurse, and Nyheim Hines right after him. J.D. McKissick may.
You're looking at your ADP is a little different than us because
that's 12 man. Yeah, that's definitely 12 man.
No. This is not 12 man. This is just straight PPR top 300. Okay. So
I've never experienced that. There's a lot more than that.
I mean, yeah, because
Damian Pierce is there, Kareem Hunt's there.
Exactly.
Those are 2 other guys.
Is there. Those are 2 other guys I'd take. Fucking give me Damian Harris over.
Yes, there's a lot of wide receivers and there's a lot of running backs all around. But in that specific, what I'm looking at is starting with 118, Michael Carter. Then Melvin Gordon, then Nyheim Hines and J.D. McKissick, and then there's
ESPN.
Yes.
Okay, that's the difference. Yeah, we speak Yahoo. You speak ESPN.
I'm telling you, and ESPN, and I'm sure that
Yahoo.
There is ESPN listeners that you must be sensitive to. Okay, equal rights here, man.
That's right. Shout out to our ESPN listeners. Shout out to our Yahoo listeners, and shout out to our Sleeper listeners, because I think that's what the doc uses, and he does listen to our episodes.
All right. Well. Okay, so we all agree that Melvin Gordon is a nightmare. Okay.
Yeah, the fucking conversation about him. I'm joking. Yeah, we all agree he was a nightmare. Brian,
yeah. I'll keep the nightmare streak. I'll throw my nightmare out there. Darrell Henderson. Yeah, okay. I know that we got all excited. Okay, about what he did last year. Okay, like when you think back to Darrell Henderson, most people think happy thoughts other than the injury, right? And when they think back to Cam Akers, they think of, not so happy thoughts because of the injury than what he looked like when he came back, right? But one thing to keep in mind is that now that Cam Akers is, I guess you would consider healthy. I guess as healthy as you can be when you return from such a horrible injury. McVay has already come out and said that he's going to use both of them the same way. I know I call him the big liar. This time I think that he might be telling the truth. And even though if you're excited, last year Darrell Henderson had 149 rushes and only got 688 yards, 5 touchdowns. Okay, and so it wasn't like he did as well as you think. It's the touchdown thing that you get excited about, But that all this is going to be split apart from Cam Akers. I know it's that there's a thought of like, hey, I'm going to get one half of the Rams, in case something happens to Akers and I get the full. Daryl Henderson has already showed that his body cannot handle the full load. Okay, so that, look at last year as Exhibit A. I mean, he was given the reins. His body can't handle it. The body, was it the spirit is strong, but the body's weak, poor guy, so it's very tempting when you get down there and this is the area where that my experience has been, that's where Michael Carter is, where James Robinson is, even Brian Robinson Jr., that's where all these guys live, but I would pick all those guys before I would pick Daryl Henderson, because I just think you're just inheriting a problem and a roster clog.
Hey, that's just an area where I think Kenyon Drake would probably do a little bit better, because I haven't really known Kenyon Drake to be very injury prone, but both Cam Akers and Henderson thus far are have proven to be pretty injury prone. So I mean, and they're both not very deep into their careers. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kenyon Drake.
Cam Akers has a strong work ethic, though. I like Cam Akers' odds of coming back.
Sure, I mean, work ethic versus being able to handle a workload and then getting pretty much injured for the rest of the year are two different things.
Yeah.
So Kenyon Drake, as far as I know, has not really been. I mean, he could potentially play in there.
Yes.
Okay. We were talking about Daryl Henderson, but that's cool. We can turn to talk about Kenyon Drake.
I think listen, thus far, it's easy to say that Henderson is a nightmare because he hasn't been a dream, and nobody in the current scheme, which how the hell did they win the Super Bowl? Is a dream running back scenario, and it's basically a running back by injured running back by committee. So that's how it is.
All right. Okay, yeah, so we all agree. All right, last one, your last one, Brock.
I'm going to go with Amari Cooper, unfortunately.
Okay.
It seems like that has been, and this is not anything left over from, COVID protocols or anything, or he moved on. I really do wish that we still had the Amari Cooper option, because it's still, after all, Amari Cooper. Now, he hasn't been a hog at, targets. But, his play with one of the best offenses last year was not that awesome. So, I mean, I think in the past 7 years, he's just obviously declined. So what is going to a scenario where the primary back is not going to be there for 11 games? That sounds like an awful nightmare.
Yeah, it does not sound like a happy ending.
Maybe when Deshaun comes back, it's not like you're going to have had Amari Cooper for all this time. I mean, people are going to probably draft him. I don't know. I would not draft Amari Cooper this year. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. He's just in a bad situation. So, and he's also declining, and so by the time Watson gets back, it's just like they get to go ahead and try to figure out this gelling process. It just doesn't sound like a very good year for him. Maybe next year, but he's still getting older, so we'll see. That's a nightmare to me.
And I think that they traded the next year's first to Houston, right? So they don't even get to enjoy the fact that they did so bad this year. So.
Browns, man, they just hate their fans.
I
think they love to shit on them.
Here's to being better than the Browns, guys. 3 different NFL teams, and we all get to say that our team, no matter what, is better than the Browns.
All right. Your last, I can't add much to that than what I just added, Brock. Yeah, you're right. Stay away from Amari Cooper. Unless you're in my league, then please draft him, because that'll mean that good things will fall to me. So I'm looking at you, Connor. Please draft him. No, your last one, Connor.
I'm going to. I'm going to talk about my boy, Adam Thielen. Guys, news has come out that he is looking better than ever, looking like his peak form, and he's still going pretty late in drafts. He's still going in the 8th round, which is a great value. We were talking about wide receivers later in the draft when you want to find a value. Thielen could be that guy. The Vikings are going to pass more. You know, it used to be a run first team, run the ball 80 times every quarter. They're not that team anymore. They're going to be throwing the ball, and Thielen he's good, man. They made the slot receiver. They can put him in space. I mean, shit. He used to take runs and shit. He used to do the guy's good. He's good in the red zone. And for the 8th round, you could be seeing. I mean, we're talking double-digit touchdowns. That's an insane value.
Yeah. There's
he could be that guy, but is it more than a feeling?
More than a feeling.
Yeah, when it gets to the
yeah, I don't know the lyrics to that song. So
there is something that's more than a feeling.
Just can you hit that high note? Can you do that? Can you hit that one? Like we all tried, but you probably could. You have
not
such
right
a
now,
great range.
but I could. I'd have to work into it.
I think you could. I have faith in you. There is nothing that you can't deny the mind meld between Kirk Cousins, and Adam Thielen. Especially when they get down to the end zone area. Connor, you're right. I mean, you're talking about the lower rounds. You're talking about double digits. I've seen this guy go. So you get that type of value, or that that really does help strengthen out your team. So it's supposed to be more of a pass first offense, like Connor was saying. So yeah, there's nothing I can say or even think of that would make me think that he's a nightmare. Unless he gets hurt, then he's a nightmare. So he's
going in ESPN. He's going late 6th, early 7th average.
Well, you guys are more educated than the Yahoo drafters, because the Yahoo drafters I see, he goes like around 9, 10, something.
Yeah.
But of course, that's 10-man. Yeah.
No, this is. I mean, this is 10. I'm speaking in 10-man terms right now. So yeah,
excellent.
That's the
Okay.
average.
All right. Okay. My last one will be Washington Commanders. Jahan Dotson. Yeah. I mean, look. I know he's a rookie. I know that. But the tight end, with the tight ends banged up in Washington, right? Thin wide receiver group that all sets up for somebody like Dotson to have an immediate opportunities to make an impact, especially for fantasy. All right. So there's been a lot of talk that he's had better chemistry with Carson Wentz than any other receiver. Okay. And he was selected. Remember, guys, he was selected by Washington with the 16th overall pick. Okay, so high draft capital. Yeah, and so he's small. Okay, I understand that, but he's athletic and versatile. Okay, and he ran a 4.43 40-yard dash at the comp. All right, he did a 31% target share. Okay, in 4.43. Yeah.
4.3. Okay.
Yes, and he had in Penn State, he had 31% target share in 2021. And then the year before, he had 30%, so it went up a little bit. And his numbers was 91, 1,182, and 12. Okay, that was what he did. And he after hauling in 91% of his catchable target. So that was the second in the rookie class. All right, this is going on in Washington. And I don't think anybody's really looking Washington's way because of Carson Wentz. But if they're going to, I would not go with McLaurin, especially since his value is so high. I would definitely go with his sleeper, Jahan Dotson, who's going undrafted in most instances. So, yeah, that would be.
He can catch one-handed, and he gets open. And he is he's pretty nimble. He moves pretty nicely, and he can spread the field, like you said. And just thinking about this. He's 4.43. The guy I talked about earlier for the 49ers, the rookie on the other side of the world, he's a 4.4861 running back. So that if you look at that and being younger, and then we talked about it's going back to Elijah Mitchell, but I'm looking at this Dotson guy. I just subbed or wrapped, playing the Commanders on Madden today, and he got a couple touchdowns. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
the true test, yes. If you're not sure on a player, play Madden and see how he does.
That will help you.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Awesome. Yeah. All right. So, anything to add to that, Connor? Yeah. Okay. All right. So that wraps up. That actually wraps up our sleepers. The dreams and nightmares. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the game. we had a lot of fun playing it. Yeah, so want to make sure that to thank you guys. I mean, if you really enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, tell somebody. Help grow the show. Be part of the fame that will become and the legend that will become Shoot the Gap. Hopefully, with your help. So well, on behalf of Connor, the Gut Marshal, and of course Barack, the Commissioner Sagine, and me, your humble host, Brian Baldwin. Brian the Amigo Baldwin. I want to thank you so much for watching. And let's do some parting shots. Some parting shots. Last bit of wisdom to hand off to our listeners and our viewers. Connor, I'll start with you, especially since Brock just reached for his glass of.
Can you point to
alcohol.
the right though, because you pointed to the left. Thank you, sir.
That's you?
That's smart. Yeah. No, I'm to the right. Yeah. There you go. I hate you. You keep pointing to the left. No, okay. So thank you. For my parting shot, I just want to say, make sure you watch all the games. Because when I won both of my rings, I watched a lot of football. Brian knows this. I mean, it felt like I watched almost every game. Like I was keeping tabs on almost every game. And the last few years, I haven't won, and I haven't watched as many of the games. And I've been thinking about it, and I think that's a big reason why. So this year, I'm gonna try to watch almost every fucking game, and that's what's gonna help me win a championship. So do that, guys. Watch as many games as you can.
Are you watching the preseason?
Yeah, I am watching some of the preseason games.
Yeah, I've watched. NFL has this like NFL Plus app thing that you can get, and you can watch condensed play, like the game condensed, where they just show play after play after play. Dude, I'm addicted to that. I mean, I've been watching every single one of them that way, to the point where I won't even watch a live preseason game. I'll wait for it to go to the condensed so I can watch because it's so cool to watch.
Nice.
Yeah. Brock, your parting shot.
Parting shots. This is my party shot. So,
Nice.
Literal.
I would say prepare yourself for your draft. All right. And with that, I say, when you go into that environment, there's going to be a lot of partying shots. Okay. And
Your place.
you're going to have to deal with the fact that you've got to take a break every other round for a 16-round situation. Take a shot of Jägermeister. Okay. So you need to pace, drink with plenty of water in between those shots.
Some yogurt.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
There's a lot of hydration that is required when you go into your draft. Now, again, you may not be doing the whole taking a shot of Jaeger every other round, but you're still doing something that is going to pull into your mind, out of your mind, a lot of energy. And it's going to be quick and fast. And you're going to be trying with all your might to take in all this information. So hydrate and pace yourself, and then say, yes, of course I'll do that shot of Jägermeister.
All right. Well, mine.
I'm actually, if you guys can't tell, I'm going for a sponsorship for my league this year. Sponsored by Jaeger. I think I can make this happen.
Does Jaeger really have their own sunglasses? That's awesome. Hell yeah.
They look well. At least the glasses look better than Jägermeister tastes.
I want to be sponsored by my vape company. Sponsor me.
No. All right. I'll go ahead and I'll give an actual tip. Okay. That's
David
hopefully
Buster sponsor me.
Hydration is an important thing.
Broader. Okay. That I would say beware of whenever right now when you're getting your strategy, beware of just like using it as a checkbox. And what I mean by that is saying like, okay, you got a strategy. Okay, you got it down. You ran it a couple of times. It works. You like this lineup. That's fantastic. Try something different. If you're going running back first and you're happy with what you got, try going wide receiver first. Or if you're thinking about like, hey, I wonder what would happen if I took, Josh Allen in the second round, see how things look. Keep trying things, because what I've done is with me doing that, I've unlocked a lot of different like angles and a lot of different ways. And this is what you have to do to be prepared, because there might be a situation where the guy that you're normally looking for, like in the second round, might be taken, and Josh Allen is there, and you might be going, what would happen if I take him? Well, if you run that, you know exactly what to do. You map it out for him. Yeah. So you got to be prepared for chaos, and this is the best way to do is to introduce chaos into your strategy and see how you would make it work. It's a lot of fun. You come up with some different things. You actually might figure out something that you did not see before. Especially since if you start building your strategy early, and then now ADPs are starting to change a little bit, there's might be stuff available there that wasn't there before. That's my parting shot.
Man,
all right.
Brian, he's always giving good advice to young men out there. It's important to know your angles.
Two. Yeah, so thanks, dude. So let's go and close this with the last line. All right, everybody. Remember, everyone, in fantasy football, as in life,
don't just dream it.
Be it.
There you go.
ESPN Lives Matter.
Man, fuck ESPN.